And I'm excited to see actually where the game goes.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot to go down, obviously, with expanding that map pool as time goes by. Just with the two maps at the minute, both of them are very contrasting styles in terms of being quite big or quite small.
Well, speaking about contrasting styles, look at this. Toxic Units to be directly on top of the point. Floaters Unite trying to swing around from behind, trying to catch him off guard here. Trot trying to look for a couple of shots. He's actually going to push in. You see him going to be launching directly on top of the pillar. He's going to miss a couple of shots with the pulsar up close and personal. You can see him just dancing around this, and the orange side of Toxic Units seem to have one out on this trade.
Looked like a nice execution from Floaters at the beginning there, Jason, but in the end, Toxic Units do gain overall control of the point.
I want to see more meteors. I don't know. We saw teams struggle to be able to take players down that were defending, that would just dance around that middle pillar. But the AoE, the explosive damage of the meteors, can really put in some work. And especially when you saw Toxic Units kind of holding close together, the AoE is going to hit multiple targets, which is going to obviously benefit you even more to potentially take some units down. But again, they're going to be defending direct on point. They're going to rush straight into this for Floaters Unite, looking for the damage. And as you see, they do pick up a couple of eliminations right off the bat here, off the back of Blackluster.
Crazy aggression, but the contention is still there, floating around the point, trying to stay alive. Unfortunately, Sethdominic is going to go down in the end as he was trying to cause this one to be a little bit more of a nuisance. Waiting for that full respawn now is going to give Floaters a little bit of time to rack up some control and equalize this one.
I like the aggressive play. That decision to just go. Like, don't go for a setup. Don't give Toxic Units a chance to figure out where you're defending and like the way they can defend against you. And then just go for it. We do see all four players, though, at TU going to be swinging around that northern side. I believe Floaters will be able to spot them out here. They're kind of split up into 2v2, so they can't all be bursting down at once, trying to have that partner, that buddy system to get around the map quickly. You would imagine we're going to see go time. Yep, we do see them using that threat scanner. They're going to push directly in, going for the 2v2 on the right-hand side. The 2v2 is not going to work out for them, though, as Floaters Unite get the advantage off the back of this. And I think they should be able to hold this if they have a complete man advantage.
Yeah, everyone just getting blown to bits there. Circuits all over the place. And Floaters are really gaining a hefty lead now. Going to be getting themselves to roughly around 70% before there's even another fight coming through from Toxic. The strategy is there. The two-player pushes where they're trying to use that level of confusion definitely work, Jason, but they're just losing out on the firefights.
I think it came down to timings. When Toxic Unit did go in for the 2v2 split, the right-hand group went in a little bit earlier than the left-hand group, which allowed the defenders of Floaters Unite to get a lot of burst damage in onto him. But now we see another fight breaking off. We can still see a couple of players actually make their way towards the point and look to actually cap it over. It's going to come down to, I believe, like a 2-on-2 as Blackluster going to be a little bit slowed up here. Tutorialbot and him going to be looking for the retake. It's going to be 3 players defending. They're trying to focus the player down. But again, dancing around the pillars there. They've actually split up, got caught off guard. And Tutorialbot will get one, but one won't be enough, and he's just going to back away.
That was actually a very effective stun field coming out as well from Toxic Units. That allowed them to cause both of those players from Floaters to just be stuck off of the point and couldn't really help out too much. Now some actual war going down towards the site, though, darting back and forth. They've regained control. They made that one look very easy.
Is anyone going to be able to contest it? 92%, 23's running away. Marcel1 has to get back to touch it. Instead, he's gone back towards the spawn. I think he realized there's no way they're going to have a chance here, and you can even see the victory shots being fired off. Here's Floaters Unite going to take that first round.
That was a confident half there, really. Floaters definitely looking like they had the overall strategy down. In the beginning, Toxic gaining control of the point straight away, but Floaters just went headstrong. They're really feeling themselves when it comes down to the actual firefights, Jason.
Yeah, playing well. I do like that attack. The one attack they did, the only time they really had to attack onto the point. Just going right in, not setting up, not giving their positions away at the threat scanners. I did like the potential retake out of Toxic Units because they had all 4 players grouped up. They know how they wanted to attack, and then they popped the threat scanner and immediately went in off the back of that. It was a smart play. It didn't work out for them, unfortunately, and obviously with the way King of the Hill works, you only have a set amount of attacks before eventually you're going to lose out on that round. But we head into the second round here now in just a moment, and off the bat, Floaters Unite going to get early control of the area. But Toxic Unit's going to have the man advantage. They're going to push directly onto the 2 players who are defending towards the south side.
Should be a 4-on-2 fight. Whoa! Damage coming through instantly, though. Sethdominic has just been removed from the server in a matter of seconds, and they're actually being able to keep this one going. Sustainable stuff. They're grouped up. You've got 4 men flying straight towards you. These Shashis are hungry.
They're not that healthy. Batsuga, low half HP. Troctoran taking a little bit of damage as well. I think they might lose. I think Floaters Unite should get the point, but I don't think they're able to maintain it. Okay, we'll get the full heals back in. All their ability is going to be on cooldowns now, which is going to be the unfortunate part. We have seen a little bit of a awkward push, actually, out of Floaters Unite. They got aggressive towards the spawn of Toxic Units. They're trying to retreat away now to get back towards the point. Tutorialbot's trying to get back to help his defenders who are just, using his pillars, trying to buy time. And I think that's going to be them holding the point another time here. Look at that.
That was crisp as well, the Meteor. Big damage coming through. Goes back to the point you were saying as well. Toxic Units playing on that very heavy, close grouping 2-2 strategy. If you're playing that close together, the constant splash damage is just going to rip through your HP. It forces out the use of that repair matrix every time and leaves you susceptible, and you actually get into a team fight.
Oh, speaking of team fights, Toxic Units seems to be all about that. I would like to see a little bit more Comet usage, actually. Maybe try to get people a little bit weak while you're waiting for abilities, waiting for threat scanners or something like that, and then go in. You see the push now as well, and it looks like the damage is just being done again. There's just no way Toxic Units are able to get the fights they want to, and we're going to be looking at like 80–90% now for Floaters Unite before the next attack even comes through. Yeah,
they're just racking it up and up. The kills fairly staggered as well. They weren't in a close clump towards the end, so Toxic Units are going to be really left with an awkward hand. They've been dealt a rough one going into this, possibly 90% before this fight comes through. It's now or never, Jason. It's all up to this push.
They're going to have a chance to touch it at least. 93%. They're going to eventually get a man there. One player's going to be behind, though. It's going to be Sir Dominic, who did die a little bit later on. 99%. They're going to get on top of the points. They have to contest it. Torobot has actually gone down right off the bat here, but it seems like they lost the players they needed onto the point. They pulled a little bit of a C9 if you're a well-experienced esports veteran in general, and that will be Floaters Unite taking the first map.
That was a rough display. I mean, they just had full control of the situation every single time. The firefights they were winning, in terms of their positioning, it just looked like they were better. The timing was there. No matter what was thrown at them, they were an entirely just, unbreakable force.
What kind of makes you a little bit sad is that you see, like, the way Toxic Units, in the first round, they came around, I think, like the northeast side. They were set up in like these two little split groups. They're waiting for like their ability to come out the threat scanner to be able to push in. They tried it, but then we didn't really get to see like any set attacks any more after that. With how quick these rounds can go, you don't really have many opportunities to attack. But then again, it's a best of 3. You have 2 rounds per map minimum. I would like to see them go for like more of those setups. But again, maybe bring out the Comet, maybe look for some early damage before you go in, maybe force them to use some of their healing abilities before you actually have to engage, so then you have the advantage on your own side. Instead, they used the threat scanner and immediately went, which is respectful. Like that aggression catches you off guard. You don't have time to react to it. But it just seemed like they were just completely ready. Floaters Unite just walked all over them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, though. It's just the fact as well, you really do only have sort of 1 or 2 chances to make those team fights work. If you're going for sort of the split play like that, there's so much downtime. We're what, like sort of 50% through already at that point? If you mess up there, you're looking at 70%. It's a downward spiral.
The thing is, I actually like the flanks, like the two splits. Yeah. I kind of wish maybe, in future patches, maybe the threat scanner's range isn't as long, or something like that, to allow you to play sneaky. Because I feel like if you're the defending team, you shouldn't be able to sit there and use your threat scanner to see people coming at you. You should be forced to come off the point a little bit, actually get information by peeking around corners and looking for them, leaving you a little bit more susceptible. I feel like the defenders have such a big advantage that's really hard for attackers to really take that away from you.
Yeah, it could be smart if it was maybe done in more sort of a conal threat scanner, because in that way, obviously,
predict where they are, right? Instead of just like a big AoE aura around you. I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot of strategy that's kind of being taken away because of that ability, and I think that's why we're seeing so many people use it. Then again, you really need to be able to heal each other with the repair matrix to keep each other alive in these fights. But as we've seen so far today, like these fights don't last that long, and people don't really escape on low HP that often. Typically, you'll get bursted from 100% to 0 within a few seconds, and you don't really have a chance to let the fight go out longer.
Yeah, and we're seeing that sort of become more standardized as well, where it really is just sort of the set sort of threat scanner there, and also the repair matrix. Whereas before we had one use of the phase, that was it.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up. Why not have someone play the flanking route with a phase shift?
Yeah.
So if you do get caught, you can escape. But while your team is like focusing the attention over there, you can maybe hit some shots from behind. I don't know. I want to see like more strategy with that. I'm assuming it's been tested before, and maybe we have a chance to talk to Gravity about it. But that's either here or there, because we're on to our second map here of Dyson. Currently, Floaters Unite do have the advantage so far in this best of 3, and they have the advantage. Well, they almost had the advantage on point, but Batsugo was very low in his peak. Still see him being healed up, being focused down as well. Somehow he's still alive, but it's still not gone either way just yet.
That was a really nice opening stun, though, that came out. Instantly took it down into a 4 versus 3 fight, but the response is rapid. They have bounced their way back over, and they are confident as ever, Jason, laying down the smackdown on the main point.
Both teams actually back away from the point. They're trying to funnel them into these tight little tunnels or towards the back part of the actual point. Torobot gets a nice little double, which allows them to take the point here. And Floaters Unite again with the control. They have the point, and now it's all on Toxic Units another time to break through. But you can see that window just giving away their position. The Meteor's going to just tear through them as you see 2 players, now 3 immediately dropping. And just like that, that will be Floaters Unite defending yet again.
Yeah, that is big. Just playing with the aggressive style of play. There's 2 isolated choke points there. You know where toxic units are coming from, and you're going to give them no chance at all of getting back towards that point. They rip their way through them with all-out confidence. And then we see toxic units setting up once again, coming in from different angles. Trying to go down from above as they send in the first squad with the backup coming in slightly later. Can they try and get something going? The missed shots coming out from the Meteor. It's not fantastic to open it up, but at least they're contesting.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, at least the shots that did follow up later on, he was able to hit some splash damage. Point will be turned over. And it looks like Floaters Unite will have to go back to the drawing board. But we're going to see them for the first time have to attack, really, onto a defending team of toxic units. I'm curious, are they going to go through those tunnels? I would assume not. After what they just did to TU in the prior attack, just immediately blowing them up. Like, it was impossible to miss shots like that, unless, like, I guess you're like me and you shoot backwards for some reason. But he said immediately rush into the point, looking for a quick attack, catch him off guard, looking for some quick eliminations, then go for another fight off the back of this, and actually turn the point around somehow. Now they have to be careful to not lose any players, and they've been able to take it just like that. Toxic Unit's not able to get set up in the defensive positions they wanted, and Floaters Unite float their way through to another point hold.
Yeah, the torpedo strategy coming out from Floaters Unite there as they just bombard the site. Rapid speed coming through, and it just didn't work out on the defense. They overwhelmed them, they were isolated, tunnel vision in with the first 2, as they then tried to flick around to the second set. It didn't work out well. Same strategy coming around, though, from toxic units. The death from above. Will the dive bomb work out this time?
The Paramatrix already been used off the bat really early before the fight actually really began. Marcel one's going to drop just as quickly as he actually got around the corner and into the point. You can see a couple of players getting very low in Floaters Unite. They've actually lost out on 3. And Tutorialbot, I believe, was the last one alive, but he's trying to hold on to the point, trying to push them back off. He's in the 1v1. He's not able to win out on that. And that should be Toxic Units turning the point around. But again, if they lose one fight, this should be the round going the way of FU.
Floaters. And they actually bring this back here and start to close it down. 88%, so close to the big old W. As they fly straight back in once again. Charging their way onto the point. Constant damage coming through. They're hitting their shots, but they are losing players as well.
A lot of splash damage being done yet again. Trying to heal up constantly for Toxic Units as they're trying to keep everyone left alive on the point. Chuck Doran is able to take down Felix, which is a good start. But it's not going to be enough. And that's going to be 3 players left alive here to defend. But they will have a man advantage, at least a chance here for Floaters Unite. You can see Felix is actually going to get back to the point in just a few seconds. They're going to take their time. They're going to go for a 2-for-2 split, though, and I feel like they're going to bombard the point again here. It's just all about those quick decision-makings to focus out the right targets at the right time.
Ooh, the flank from behind as well could potentially actually be the little upset player that they need. They weren't ready for it, and they were so susceptible. They come in from behind, Jason, and the Floaters lock it down.
See, I almost want to see them get aggressive now in towards their spawn. I don't think they're going to have time to really get back here and touch. So this should be Floaters Unite taking the round. Yeah, no chance. And there you go. Able to take another round and pretty much put themselves on match point.
Big win there for Floaters, getting that first one on the map. Slightly closer affair. This time Toxic Units actually putting up a fair bit of a fight. But we're still seeing them matter even if they're forced off. When it comes to the re-aggression, the retakes of the main control, it's actually quite easy for them. A lot of the times, the different strategies they've have been working well. More so for Toxic, it's the same play. They're going for the swoop down from above with all 4 players slightly staggered. It's not been working out too amazingly for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they need to change over on Toxic Unit's side. I almost feel like they should maybe get control here initially to Floaters Unite instead they're actually going to get on top of the point directly. But if you get the control, again, we've not really seen too many comments. I really want to see people from long range going for some early chip damage through. This is a little bit of a harder map to do it on the combustion, yes, but here we go. Big push is coming through. A lot of repair matrices being used at the same time as well, and Toxic Unit should be able to win out in the trade. I think they lost like 1 player, but they're still going to be able to get the point.
There's some big hits early, though. Tutorialbot and Bazooka just going down in a matter of seconds. The other 2 are now traded out as well. So Toxic Units, this time around, actually having a flawless opener. Way better.
5, 4, 3.
Well, here we go. It's not. It's. Thing is, yeah, they won the fight, but they didn't really get much off of it. That now they're going to actually capture the point here and start to get some percent built up. But Floaters have fully respawned back in. Actually just charging directly into the point yet again. Some long-range shots with the Pulsar are going to be coming through. Not a lot of damage being traded just yet. 2 players going to be coming in from behind. So this is actually a distraction play from the front. Now they're going to just collapse on towards us, trying to look for these eliminations.
This is what we saw before. The two-player pincer attack from either side. They get so heavily focused on the full frontal assault, they forget about the rear, and it works out amazingly again. As you said as well, the downtime there between them actually getting that first wipe means they don't get too much of a percentage off the back of it. Only 90% achieved. Floaters are going to overtake that in a matter of seconds.
I do like the way they attack that too. The thing is, typically if you're the one attacking, you get to fight in your own conditions and your own, timings. And Toxic units weren't able to make the calls quick enough, or at least communicate, I guess, at the right time of who they wanted to focus down. And as you see them go on the attack now, they're getting a couple people low. Batsuka down about half. You see him being healed back up. Lackbuster as well, being dropped very low on HP, but Marcel's already been eliminated here in this fight. You see Felix under a lot of, a lot of fighting as well, a lot of pressure, but he's actually able to help get some damage in, and I think eventually turn the point over.
Should be able to collect it here. They do secure it. 20% versus the 39 of Floaters, as it was a bit of a scrappy fight, but they did somehow win it in the end. Floaters completely aware of the strategy they've been running as well. They sent out one early player that spotted towards the top of the point, knew they were coming in, so they already were able to get a little bit of burst damage out from the splash damage, but they re-aggress once more as the chaos continues.
And we saw them actually send two players yet again direct at the top of the point, trying to catch him off guard. Do have a slight advantage because they've been able to get one elimination off that with Marcel falling. They still have one player left up too. It's going to be Lackbuster. He needs to just not be eliminated here. He needs to stay alive because then it's going to completely throw off the respawns. All right, so they will have the regroup. Marcel's going to be coming back into the point. I think they're going to launch it in again. They have one player off to the side. I think it's TutorialBot looking to come in from directly behind, looking for some damage. The detonator goes in, does some decent work. They're all clumped up here. A lot of damage with the meteors could be thrown in.
Oh, the spam from either side. Eventually, we're seeing a bit of a trade, a 1-1 going down, as they're left on the 3-on-3 firefight. It's an awkward one, actually quite elongated this time around. One of the longer fights we've seen in quite some time, as they are left really low. The side attack, it could all come down. So this attack here, but instead he falls. Floaters United will reclaim the point. 81%, Jason. They're getting close. But they still haven't secured it.
Yeah, but I think they had a disconnect. I think Marcel had a little bit of issues there. So now they're going to be fighting 3v4, and they've already been struggling over the course of the series. They've been playing a lot better here in this round, but now being down a player, I don't know how they're going to come back from the Sir Dominic tries to rush in. He gets eliminated just as quickly as he respawn back in. And Floaters Unite should be getting a ton of percent here. I think this actually might be them closing out the round, the match, and getting themselves a victory.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, to actually be able to take it back even with 4 players has been a very, very awkward fight between either side. It's been quite scrappy with only 3 players there.
You can't scrappy with 4. It's been scrappy with 4. Imagine how it's going to be with 3, and well, that's probably what we're going to see. With Floaters Unite already been able to combat them so well at a 4-on-4, to be down a player now, especially a caliber player like Marcel 1. I think that should be Floaters Unite taking the round, taking the map, and taking the match here in a 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, lovely stuff there from Floaters. Showing that they're slightly further ahead overall in terms of their actual positioning. Obviously, the last bit there, we didn't really see the true story. Potentially, there could have been some more coming out. But we didn't really get to see that, Jason. We get teased.